This is Mouth Media Network. Amplify and connect.
30 years ago, Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web. In 2010, astronaut T.J. Creamer posted the first unassisted update to his Twitter account from the International Space Station. And now, you get to hear this trash thanks to the magic of the Internet. Hashtag progress. This is Funny People Talking.
Hi, I'm Dani Faith Leonard. I'm a comedian, I'm a writer and producer, and I am the host of Adult Sex Ed, and I would rather be going outside and risking my fragile immune system than listening to funny people talking.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Funny People Talking. This is your host Mark Rako, and I am talking with, but not personally in the room with, our good friend and another host of this show, Danielle Beckwoman. Mademoiselle Danielle, how are you?
Wait, what just happened? Danielle Beckwoman.
I don't know what I did. So let me try it again.
No, don't try it again. Keep it. It was perfection.
Oh, it's Danielle Beckwoman?
Yeah.
Oh, that's your new name.
And yeah, I'm not going to be changed. I'm actually not going to be changing my last name when I get married. So, but maybe now I will change it, but I won't change it to his last name. It'll just be Beckwoman, and I'll go totally like against the patriarchy, and it'll be great.
That's awesome. Well, anyway, good to hear you. We are
good to hear you, Mark. Yes.
Thank you. We're recording remotely again in our time of COVID-19 work from home. We still haven't completely set ourselves up here, but we're doing our best from our individual homes. Also with us, our delightful and good friend and our producer, Elsie. Hey, Elsie.
Hi.
You still with None of Your Business right now because you're at home? None of Your Business is home with you right now?
Well, yeah, at home, but not with me.
Okay, not with you at the moment. Okay.
What's the cat doing?
Yeah, None of Your Business is Elsie's cat, Dani, by the way.
Oh,
great. Yeah, what's the cat doing, Elsie?
Hanging out on the windowsill.
With a closed window, right?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Okay. Well, there's no reason to not be safe.
And Mark, who is that other voice that spoke?
Yeah, that other voice with us. It is our second Dani on the show today, and that's Dani Faith Leonard. Dani is an old friend of mine. We had collaborated on, or been looking to at least collaborate on something. She's a really cool person. She is an actress. She is a comedian. She's a writer, a producer, and she also has an amazing show at Caveat. Remember Caveat with our guest Ben Lilly recently? If you haven't listened to that show, go back, listen. It's awesome, and so is he. But Caveat, this is one of the shows at Caveat. It's called Adult Sex Ed. We're going to find out all about it and how it started, which may surprise you. And the creator and host of that is, of course, Dani Faith Leonard, a very cool person. Hey, Dani.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us on this show. I'm so happy it's been a long time since we chatted, and I'm glad to have a chance to catch up.
I know. I wish we could be in person, but I'm glad that this worked out too.
I'm so glad too. And we have two Danielles. I mean, what?
I know.
I know. How are we ever going to navigate that?
It's going to be awesome.
I know Dani because I was introduced to her. She was a mentor for a type of mentorship that I had from a mutual acquaintance, Michael Roderick, who I know we all know. I met Danielle through Michael Roderick.
Oh,
and
wow.
I know Elsie knows Michael Roderick. And so Dani was a mentor in a mentorship that I was in. And then I worked on a cool project with a woman named Sarah Takako Skinner called the Hope Is Project. And she and I met with Dani and her partner about the possibility of developing a film project. We never did go forward with that, but it really was a really wonderful collaboration and showed me what her company, what are you currently calling the company? Is it still Big Vision Empty Wallet? Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, we we had deviated from the name there for a little bit. And then we're about to celebrate our 10-year anniversary as a company. And we
Oh,
kind of
wow.
went back to the old name, the old branding, or a newer version of the old branding. And we're really bringing back the past.
So as I recall, we'll get more into it later, but that company's ethos and mission, or certainly the way reason it was created, and hence the name, is there's a lot of really wonderful artists and creators and filmmakers out there who have these amazing ideas that they can execute, but they don't have the funds or the connections, and you play connector and ultimately producer to help put them in front of the right people so that their deserving vision can be executed. Is that a fair sizing up of it a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And we are a production company that has an incubator model that has always really been focused on inclusion. But everything you said was absolutely correct. That was a very good description of,
Thank you.
of the
Well,
ethos behind the company.
I'm available for bar mitzvahs and pitches. So anyway, no. So I'm glad to hear I didn't have that too wrong. So more on that later. Coming up, we're gonna play catch up a little bit. We're also going to play one of our favorite improv games, and then we're gonna learn all about Dani Faith Leonard and adult sex ed, and then a little surprise at the end of the show, and that's what we've got ahead. But first, I have a question for Danielle.
Is it for me, Beck woman?
For me?
Beck
Yes.
woman?
Yes. Danielle, my question is, very interesting to see you come in with a bandana on, but not as I would expect it, especially in this COVID-19 time.
Oh yeah, not around my mouth, no.
Not around your mouth. In fact, it was hanging from your ear like an earring.
Definitely, yeah.
And I should mention that this particular bandana was hot pink.
Oh yes.
With a little blue star on it.
Oh yeah.
So why was there a hot pink bandana with a little blue star hanging from your ear like an earring?
Mark, listen.
Yes, I'm trying.
Do you know how long we've all been inside?
It's a long time.
Do you know how my outfit and apparel choices don't really matter anymore?
So you're being creative. This is how fashion is born.
Yes. And so maybe I should get up on a platform such as TikTok, Snapchat, and really show off this new bandana wear, because I didn't know you were going to even comment on it. And now I'm thinking I'm onto something. You know, it's time to get risky inside in a safe space with fashion.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
All right,
and I'm sorry, Dani didn't get to see it because my camera wasn't working. But the blue star is really the it's kind of like my North Star, Mark, you know?
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah, I think I've gone a little crazy.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not. See, you understand my reactions that I'm not that shocked.
Right. Well, I mean, you always notice all these strange quirks that I think are totally normal. So maybe you should talk to the person I'm marrying, because I know he's okay with it.
I'm frankly just surprised it's not more wild than that.
Right. We're just going to stick to these strange bandana ear coverings and see what tomorrow brings.
Okay. That sounds good. All right. Thank you very much. Before we start the show proper, do you perchance, my friend Danielle, happen to have a nerd tip?
I do.
Just the tip. Nerd tip. Ooh.
It's kind of like a fun little nerd advice and a nerd tip for help remembering your passwords, because what do we all do all the time? Forget our passwords to everything. So I should be a better nerd and actually keep track of my passwords better. Currently, I'm looking into LastPass. There's another one called 1Password. There's another brand called Dashlane, excuse me. Mark, do you have anything to remember passwords? Or did you keep them all up in your noggin?
I do, but I'm not going to say what it is.
Well, no, you don't need to say your password.
I'm not going to say my method.
Oh, I'm proud of you. Good.
What I'm
good.
saying.
No,
but
I love it.
I do have what I think is sleuthy,
Okay.
except to the highest level. Very entrepreneurial sleuth.
Well, this is great. Well, so one tip for all you out there who are having trouble remembering passwords or even say like Wi-Fi networks is to make it funny and make it unique. So like a Wi-Fi name I saw recently was Bill Y the Science Fi. I thought that was really cute.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a musical theater person, make your password like music of the night or like a prayer, Madonna. You know, go with a phrase that you're not going to forget, because I know some people that are sexagenarians. That means they're in their 60s, and get your mind out of the gutter, Mark. And they are sexagenarians, and they have a password that's like their dead dog's name, and then a bunch of numbers. And I'm like, what? Everyone's going to think of that. So we got to get more creative and protect yourself, people. And that's my tip.
All right. Very good tip. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Elsie, what's your password?
Don't ask that. That's the point.
Oh, damn it.
Oh my.
Yeah, I didn't fall for that.
Yeah, so close.
Oh,
all right.
My
hey,
God.
I do have one job for you, though, Elsie.
What?
Tell me to start the show.
Start the show.
This is Funny People Talking with Mark Rako, Danielle Beckman, and Elsie.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Funny People Talking. We're here with Dani Faith Leonard and all of you. I'm Mark Rako. We've got Danielle Beckman. We've got Elsie. Everyone is in the room. There's one person who's not in the room that we wish was, and that is Tina Fey. It's time for our appeal to Tina Fey. Dani, what that means is that we have a very, very strong desire for reasons I won't get into now, but a lot of close calls, why we want to have just even a brush by with Tina Fey, a postcard, a drive-by, a phone call, an appearance on the show. It doesn't matter. Something that connects her with this show, even for just a moment. So what we do every show is we pray to the comedy gods that somehow, some way, if we put it out there, it'll happen. Someone will hear it. The universe will move in the right direction. So we're going to pray now. If you would like to join in, you're more than welcome.
Sure,
if you know a way to get to Tina Fey, that's even more welcome. But anyway, just letting you know, that's what we're going to do now. And I will lead off if anyone wants to join. Oh, comedy universe, please deliver Tina Fey. We love you.
I just want to say hi, thanks, but
hey, we love
maybe
you, Tina Fey.
time for you
Please.
to Skype in.
It's time. This is the one. We will come to you if you're worried about
With masks.
social distancing.
With masks.
We'll stay the right amount of way. We'll do whatever you need to do. Thank you, Tina Fey.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
So thank you for that, everybody.
That was beautiful.
All right. Yeah, it was very peaceful.
Was it gorgeous?
It's gorgeous. All right. I have a question for you. I just saw recently on the news, and I kind of wanted to put this up for discussion.
Who is you?
I'm going to explain.
Thank you, darling.
Literally, that was the next thing I was going to say. This is for all of you, but it is also targeted directly to Dani because of some of what she does. I saw a news article that it's possible by the time this episode comes out, this will have already happened. But some of the news article is titled, "Some of the last people on earth to hear about the coronavirus pandemic are going to be told on live TV." Because 18 contestants in the German Big Brother house don't know about it because they're quarantined in the Big Brother house without any access to media. So they're going to, after the remaining participants are in the long-running reality series, it has stayed where they don't know. The producers have stuck to the principle, even as borders have slammed shut, stock markets have sunk, the world has ground to a halt, et cetera, et cetera. But on Tuesday evening, I guess tonight as we're recording, actually, so this will have already happened, the contestants on the German program will finally be updated on the pandemic live on television in a heavily publicized special episode of the show.
Oh,
So,
God, that's so messed up.
Okay, hold on, but
so-
everyone's gonna watch.
Yes.
I would.
So here's exactly, because remember, we've all sort of felt this gradually. It's gotten to the point now where, like, if you told all this, it's like a movie, right? Okay. So my question is, I guess you answered it, Danny, by saying that's so messed up. But should this be on television? How does this connect with your sensibilities as a producer, Danny? And by the way, you too, Danielle, as a producer.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never produced a trashy reality thing, but I've had the opportunity to pitch before. And it was a couple of years ago, and I had a meeting at a network that I won't mention, but like they're known for trash. So you could picture which one that might be, I guess. And I had a meeting with an executive there, and it was just a general meeting. We just wanted to get some advice from her, and we asked how new shows are pitched there. And what she basically said is, well, okay, you go out and you find a crazy person, and if that crazy person can be a character, then you bring them in, we meet them, and we see if they're crazy enough, and then maybe we build a show around them. And obviously, that just doesn't appeal to me. I know enough crazy people. I don't need to go out and find more. I don't need to bring more crap into my life just because it would be something that someone else would enjoy watching on TV. So I don't know. I think that I don't hate the reality TV genre, but I don't appreciate stuff like this where people are just going to watch it because it's so messed up. That being said, I love it.
That's honest. Thank you. That's honest.
I mean, well, and I'm sure Danny and I'm sure everyone here talking now, all four of us would agree that like we all have a passion for storytelling, right? So we all, for one reason or another, are in the art of like the entertainment industry in many different ways. And so to me, it's very much about what's the story. And I like stories of humanity and redemption. So if this moment of telling them of what's happened is going to bring, I don't know, some joy or unity or something, or a revelation for someone, that's great. If it's filmed in a way of exploiting these people and making them look like absolute idiots, that's really hard for me. So it depends. It's all in the way that it's executed, I guess, so to speak. That's my whole shebang.
Yeah, I think it always, a question I often ask myself in anything that I've ever been involved with, creating or developing or anything, even playing a small role in it, is why does this exist in the world? Aside from it made some money for people, I'm saying what is its value in its existence in the world in even the tiniest way? I mean, I'll even throw out there a show like Here Comes Honey Boo Boo or whatever. I mean, that's such a ridiculous show. It's clearly, engineered in a lot of ways, but there is, in my opinion, a small, tiny value there, and that is it's a family that loves each other, and you see that through thick and thin. They stay together, they have each other's back, they love each other, whatever. That's what I got out of it anyway.
Yeah.
There's something there. So there's definitely shows out there that are just I'm not going to say them because I don't want to offend anyone that likes them, but in my opinion, there's shows out there that are just like, it's like eating food that has zero nutritional value at all.
Right. Which people do all the time.
Hey, I've certainly done it plenty of times, but you get what it does to you. You got to live with the consequences.
Yeah. Mark, did you
but I'm not serving it to millions of people, though.
Truth. Well, but Mark, you were in my movie. Do you think that's going to have any redemption and any joy? I'm actually really excited for you to see it. But
just to put this in perspective, Dani, I was a background actor, but very pleased and delighted to.
But
contribute.
I have to say, you were quite prominent in the opening scene, and it's super exciting.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, you have a great reaction.
Oh, good. Thank you.
No one can miss you in this movie.
Yay! All right. Hey, thank you. So I mean, look, your movie is going to be about
it's a woman finding her identity and fully messing up and falling flat on her face, and then actually having people care for her. Yeah,
but it's fictional. I'm saying it's fictional.
Oh, you were talking about reality TV. And
that's
stuff.
what I'm talking about. So manipulating people's lives. Look at how many times Dani, how many times have you heard about these stories about one producer taking this one cast member over here and saying, "God, did you hear the stuff this person talking about with you?" And then another producer takes the other person and says, "Hey, did you hear what this person's talking about with you?" And then they put them together in a room and put their cameras on and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
They also overserve them alcohol very often.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
To manufacture those fights, and I had the pleasure of seeing it in person.
I was
at the Muse Awards that's held every year for New York women in film and television. And this was at least 5 years ago. And it was the cast of, I'm just going to say it. It was the Real Housewives of New York City.
That is precisely what I thought you were going to say, by the way.
I might as well say it. And it was 10:30 in the morning and they were shit-faced.
Oh, no.
They were just absolutely wasted. And this is an award show that you do drink at, but they arrived that way.
They made Anna Nicole Smith look like a nun.
Oh, my word. Well, no, do you know what? I was in one reality TV show. It was called All on the Line with Joe Z. And it was Joe Z who was the creative director, I think, for Cosmo? No. Oh, shoot. I can't remember. It was one of the fashion things. This was honestly like 10 years ago. It was right when I moved to the city. And anyway, they were trying to get me and some other quote unquote young like fashionistas to be looking at these clothes of the specific fashion designer. It was on the Sundance Channel, and they were baiting us with questions from behind the camera. Like, ooh, do these clothes have holes in it? Like they were wanting us to say things, and they didn't tell me anything like, hey, just so you know, we're going to put up suggested questions for you to ask. They were just pulling up questions. And I thought, oh, this is weird. And what did I do? I did it. Like I went along with it because I'm an actor. And when I get prompted, I do the thing I'm prompted. I follow the script, right? So I could really see how people could fall into this. It's nuts. We did not have alcohol though. Thank God.
That's good.
Okay. Well, anyway, I just had to talk about that article. There's just been so many. That was like one of the weirdest things I've seen, other than the naked cowboy singing with a mask on in Times Square. So,
sign of the times.
I know, right? But I tell you, not so naked anymore, is he? Yeah.
He's in a hazmat suit by himself.
That's right. Oh my God. Shall we play an improv game, everybody?
Yes.
All right. I've got the perfect one for us, I think, with Dani in the room, and that is the virtual room. And that is our fun game, What If? Basically what it is, Dani, is a pitch. You can pitch anything. You can pitch a TV show, a movie, an ad campaign. It's totally up to you. But the idea is that you're playing with another person. You're pitching the other person. And so you know how in pitch sessions often you'll say like, hey, here's the idea, blah, blah. And the person says, well, I mostly like it. In fact, it's fantastic. There's just this one thing I would change. If we can change that, I think we can do a deal. And sometimes the changes seem so absurd. You're like, it's not even the same project. Why would I do that? Mm-hmm. So this is that to the umpteenth level. So just when you think you've got it, the other person will one-up you with a, well, I love it, but what if we change this aspect of it? And in the end, you'll finally arrive at a project that's nothing like what you started at, but you both finally agree that that's the one you're going to go with. Okay?
What if?
So, exactly. So, I'm going to suggest that Danielle and Dani start this off, if that's cool. And as makes perfect sense, Danielle, why don't you pitch Dani?
Yeah.
So, Dani, you're the producer or the ad executive or whatever its sketch kind of turns out to be. And I'm going to give you one word to incorporate into the starting pitch. And you'll know when it's over when you two agree on that it's the final version.
Okay.
Are we all clear on what we're doing?
Great.
Okay.
So I'm being pitched too. I'm the executive.
Dani is the executive.
Yes.
Danielle is pitching whatever it is that she's going to be pitching. The two of you can work out what type of project it is through your interaction. So, or what it becomes. I don't know. Elsie, why don't you throw them a word, any word that must be incorporated in the initial pitch?
Viscous.
What is it?
Viscous.
Viscous. Okay. Do you know what a viscous is, Danielle?
It's a
It's a texture. It's thick and sticky.
Oh, because
Like
the
viscosity.
only word I've ever heard about it is something that is literally about like your internal organs.
Yeah. The viscera is the internal. I don't know this. I looked it up.
It's just like viscous is sticky. It's like
sticky.
Viscosity, viscous. Yeah.
Oh, I've heard of viscosity, but not viscous.
Well, viscous, it's sticky consistency.
Elsie, will you permit a slight bend on that and for her to use the word viscosity?
I don't care.
Okay.
She doesn't even care, Mark.
Okay.
Oh my
Take it
God.
away. Take it away. Danielle and Dani using the word viscous or viscosity. Take it away.
So, hi, Dani. We've over here at the Viscosity podcast have been really trying to figure out ways to literally get our audience to stick, pun intended, because we want them to stick around, pun intended. And right now we're just having a hard time with our content. And so my pitch today is really to a plea to ask you to help us with what we're doing. But the great thing is that we have Tom Hanks signed on as our first guest, and he's really hot, not with a fever. I'm saying like hot topic right now because he had the coronavirus. And so we think that'll get some people to listen. However, we just don't know if at the Viscosity podcast, if we have everything that it takes. Do you have any like suggestions to keep us stickier other than Tom Hanks?
I mean, what if you brought in a live audience and you also had an audience listening at home? And what the live audience didn't know is that they were literally going to be stuck there. And then when Tom Hanks shows up, you tell that live audience that he's basically the outbreak monkey. And then the audience at home gets to hear them panic.
Okay, I am loving this. Okay, so I'm going to take that. I love this live audience thing. I love the panic. I think this is going to get a lot of views. But what if we also brought in some members of the that are going to be potentially running for president? I mean, let's get Bernie in there. Let's get Biden in there, right? What if they each ended up getting exposed to the virus, like it stuck to them, excuse me. And then we just see who's the most resilient and then they win. What do you think? Like, what do you think?
I mean, I love this because it's really speaking to my mind as an executive. to put two older people who are at risk
Oh God.
in contact with the outbreak monkey for
Right?
the
Well,
coronavirus.
we just want views.
Yeah, what if we also included some of the other people who have recently been diagnosed with coronavirus, like Idris Elba and, some of those basketball players.
Oh,
And
great.
we really made this a severely toxic room. And I love the idea of both Bernie and Biden being there, but wouldn't it be more fun if Mike Pence was there too? Just for fun. He looked a little
Oh,
feverish on TV today.
Okay. Well, this is all true. And maybe it would just be like a one-off or like a very limited time series. And that's it. But maybe the Viscosity podcast is like one and done. We make millions from one episode and that's it. I mean, what do you think?
I like that. And I do think that you should say for a very limited time, because that might be all that they have.
And that's perfect. Well, I'm so glad we're on the same page, and it's great. It's great to have you on the team. I think we've got it.
Oh, great.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you. Way to work in the topical humor. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so Elsie and I are going to try one as well. Elsie, do you want to pitch or receive?
I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pitch. And need one word to work into the pitch. Whoever wants. Danny, why don't you offer that?
How about, let's do face mask.
Face mask. Okay. First of all, Elsie, I want to say how much I appreciate the opportunity to pitch our film idea to you. I really think this is going to be nothing but a blockbuster.
All right.
Okay. So the idea is it is a period piece.
Yeah.
That is about a baseball team, and what happens is there's a catcher that we see potentially played by Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And he, because you don't usually see sort of the beanpole playing the catcher, so I thought that could add a little bit of the sympathy to him. They're usually a more stout kind of person,
Right.
And then a hard pitch hits him in the face mask, and it leaves a impression on his face that disfigures him, and he goes through the rest of his life as a former Major League Baseball player with a disfigurement and no career or hopes. And he befriends a low intelligence but very humorous sporting agent played by Dame Judi Dench. Who she can do anything, so I really think she can handle it. And she finds a way to sell him as a kind of circus act in the baseball community, in the baseball rounds. And at a practice, he makes a play, and it really turns the head of the head of the baseball team, the coach of the baseball team, and it's kind of a feel good victory story for someone who's seen some hard times. And the title that we're seeing so far is "You Can't Mask Greatness." So that's kind of the idea. We think with those two stars attached, we've got some requests out, we've got some backups. We think that this is just dynamite summer movie.
All right. But what if we recast the? I don't like Judi Dench in there.
Okay, no Judi Dench.
So you said it was supposed to be a low intelligence what?
A sporting agent.
Okay, low intelligence sporting agent. So who I'm immediately going to think of is Nicole Kidman.
I was hoping you would say that.
I was waiting that Nicole Kidman is in everything. Okay, yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't mean to typecast, but yeah, Nicole Kidman is going to be the low intelligence agent, and there will be absolutely no chemistry with them whatsoever. So don't think love interest at all. And then I think that we should bring in, let's see, I think that, yes, Kevin Bacon, because he becomes so famous and his face is in all the papers, that his potential daughter comes out of the woodwork and is requesting a DNA test, and that is played by Suri Cruz.
Oh, how interesting. Yeah. How interesting. So now I think the only way you could, I love what you've done with this, Elsie. The only thing that I'm wondering we might want to do is maybe this shouldn't be baseball at all. Maybe we should make this more of a contact sport where we can really see a little more action. So instead of baseball, what if this was football? It could still be a helmet that gets collapsed and pushed into the face. So that holds up. There's now professional women in the football arena. So that's not unbelievable. But I was thinking, if we're going to have Suri Cruz, if we're going to have Nicole Kidman, why not, instead of Kevin Bacon, let's put Tom Cruise in that football helmet, because I don't see any reason why people wouldn't pay a lot of money to see someone smash Tom Cruise in the face. And I'm thinking, especially if we get the Scientology angle put into it, think of the drama and the conflict, that the subtext that's going to be there between Tom Cruise, Suri Cruz, and Nicole Kidman. And I'm thinking there is a really glorious cameo by Suri Cruz's mother. What's her name again?
Katie Holmes.
By Katie. Thank you, Katie Holmes. Katie Holmes is. It turns out at the last minute to have a reveal and a cameo as the actual owner of the football team, and obviously drama unfolds. What do you think?
Well, I like most of it, but I want to stick with baseball. So what if we just go back to the baseball and keep the rest?
Well, but. Okay, I'll make you a deal. If we go back to the baseball, the one thing that I really want to do that I think will still add a lot of the action, because I'm afraid baseball's just not going to be action-packed enough for a blockbuster.
But Mark, how are you going to do the face mask and football thing? Just doesn't work for me.
All right, that's why I'm agreeing to the baseball.
Yeah.
But what I would like to suggest is that at the last game, while they're trying to finish the game, the life-changing game, as we go into the ninth inning, a horrible fire breaks out in the stands. And they're trying to finish the game while there are still people in the stands, as they're fleeing for their lives, and the stands are collapsing from being on fire. Think of the drama. Think of the conflict. Think of the Tom Cruise or whoever's going to play the catcher trying to finish the game. He's his big break, but he sees these people that need to be saved, and he's really torn of what to do. And in the end, he decides to go save somebody, and he does, but it completely burns his face off. He gets a double whammy. Oh, my
God.
And then he comes back as Nicolas Cage.
Now you're talking. That's a movie.
Okay.
Because Nicolas Cage will do anything.
Well, isn't he? Yeah, Face Off, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, okay. That's a movie. Do we have a deal?
We have a deal. It's done.
All right. There you go. That's it.
Yay.
So that's our movie.
Well, I would watch that on DVD.
Or Betamax. So there you go. All right.
I would go to a midnight screening of that.
I would see that. Are you kidding me? I can see the trailer right now, man. You know, the looking to the mound, looking back at the burning stands. It's great. All right. Well, that was What If. Thank you very much, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's all about Dani Faith Leonard right after this.
The artist Prince was once known as a symbol. If we were known as a symbol, it would probably be a smear of grape jelly. Or possibly banana pudding. Nope, grape jelly. Definitely grape. This is Funny People Talking.
All right, Dani Faith Leonard. I love it. So, a quick question for you: is your full name Dani Faith? Is your name Dani? Your middle name's Faith? How does that all play out?
My middle name is Faith. My first name is Danielle, but I've always been Dani. I don't know. I
Oh,
I,
that's
I
cool.
don't know what it was when I was younger. It wasn't like there were five of us in my kindergarten class. Like there were five Laurens, five Jennifers. There were those like very
Yeah.
specific names that year.
I
But this
experienced the
wasn't
same
one.
thing. I had no Danielles. And then when I met the first Danielle, I think it was like 8th grade. And I was like, what? Who
Oh
are
no.
you?
So, Dani, what made you decide to start using the Faith as a part of your name? Where obviously people call you Dani; they don't call you Dani Faith usually, right?
Right.
But you have made, like, I don't. Interestingly, by the way, my actual legal name is Mark Thomas. Thomas is not my middle name, because when my name was entered on my birth certificate, it was written as my first name being Mark Thomas,
Oh my God.
by error.
Really?
But yeah, from a practical standpoint, I've in practice been Mark as my first name, Thomas as my middle name. But if you want to get really technical about it, that's what it is.
What's your other middle
So
name, though?
I don't have one.
Oh my God, but
So
Mark Thomas, you shouldn't have told me this. Now I'm going to
I
call you
know
Mark Thomas all the time.
people have done that. But what I'm saying is I don't see my first name as Mark Thomas. I see it as Mark. So, but I don't go around calling myself Mark Thomas Rico. Is my point, Dani? You made a decision to be referring to yourself, at least professionally, as Dani Faith Leonard. How did that happen?
Faith has always been my favorite part of my name.
I love that.
Yeah, it meant a lot to my mom when she named me because it took her 10 years to get pregnant with me. So that was she had faith that she would have me one day.
Oh,
um, and also, I'm named after my great grandmother, whose name was Fanny. So the faith was for that. And my cousins, whoever is the firstborn girl, they also all have the middle name Faith. So it's a family thing at this point.
oh, that's nice.
And
That's
my
nice.
sister's middle name is Joy. It's super cheesy, but it
Mhm.
continued. And now my sister is going to give birth in a couple of weeks, and that baby's middle name is Hope. I mean, we really went overboard here.
Oh my gosh, I know. My God, that's great. That's nice. That's nice to put into the universe
Yeah.
and to give people that identity. That's really great. So, as I sum it up a little bit, you at least the things that I'm aware of, it sounds to me like primarily you have three major things that you do. There's your company with your partner, Alex, right?
Hmm.
I don't know what
Cirillo.
her married name is. She still goes by Cyril now.
Oh,
Okay, so
I don't know. Alex
oh,
Cirillo Ferreris. I'm not
well,
sure.
there you go.
I
Oh,
don't
it's
know.
so
I know
so
what she's doing in her
confusing. All
private
these
life.
three names.
I know.
No, I know. So Alex, who's really cool, also. You and Alex have a Big Vision Empty Wallet
Right.
as a production company, an incubator, and a way to influence the film community and what's possible in storytelling. You have your show, Adult Sex Ed, which we'll get into, and we want to talk about where that came from. And then there's also the performer part of you outside of Adult Sex Ed, as an actress, as a comedian, as an improviser, and so forth. Am I missing any major part of your identity that people tend to maybe not know about?
This is new, but I wrote a screenplay that's moving into production this year. So
Wow!
there's that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Through Big Vision, Alex and I think we've worked on 9 films. And so I think for me, it makes sense for the 10th one for me to be something that I wrote.
Is this a documentary? Is this a
It's
narrative?
a narrative, and it's kind of hilarious, the first conversation that we had about Big Brother, because it's a movie about a news producer who has lost her career, and it's a couple of years later, and she's
Mm.
looking for something to do, and she finds out about these people who have been discovered living on this island, and they're still living like it's the 1800s and the gold rush, and she makes a reality show about them. And then the rest of the movie is about what happens when they get access to information and they realize that the world has moved forward, and they suddenly have access to shopping for things on Amazon and watching porn and all of this stuff that they didn't know before. And, they end up revolting, of course. And
Wow.
so it's so relevant to what we were talking about before, and it's kind of the deeper things are. It's about kind of media and ethics, but it's also about colonialism. But it's a comedy, with
I
comedy with
love it.
dark themes.
I love it. But what if? No, I'm just kidding. That's really cool. I bet actually that German Big Brother thing, you really are going to check that out, because there might be something you glean from watching that.
Oh, absolutely.
If nothing else, your own reactions to what unfolds. By the way, on a short, very pimping out moment, I just want to mention that both Danielle and I are very fine SAG actors
Hey, that's us.
who would love the opportunity to be considered for a role if it fits. Just saying.
Of course.
Anyway, so sorry for that, but you have to pitch yourself. You gotta. Congratulations and best of luck on the continued road. I cannot wait to see and find out more. It's really exciting. What a big moment for you, and many more to unfold. So let's talk about Big Vision, Empty Wallet. How did that come to be? Why does it exist? And how is what it started out as feel different than what it is now? And maybe even the name has a different meaning to you.
Yeah, at first, we started the company almost 10 years ago. On May 1st will be our anniversary. And I had been working before that, just producing events for filmmakers to come together and screen their work and
Oh, that's so
share
awesome.
resources. And partially that was selfish of me, because I knew that I wanted to move into film, and I had studied theater in school, and I didn't really know anyone who worked in film, and I didn't know kind of how to break in. So I was looking to meet more people, but then the resources that we were providing ended up being really useful. And I had sort of discovered producing, and Alex and I realized that we wanted to do that together. And so we started Big Vision Empty Wallet really as this resource for people who were creating things independently, who literally had a big vision and an empty wallet. And then now, 10 years later, we're this incubator where the projects have gotten a lot bigger that we've been working on. But really, it's the same resources that we're providing now that we provided then, just as on a larger scale. It's the same kind of issues that filmmakers have where they can't get into the right rooms. And we're hoping that we can sort of bridge the gap or help people figure out how to not need to be in those rooms at all. So we're just doing what we used to do, but on a much larger scale. And using the incubator to find new people and new projects and find things that we want to work on. But it's really been an evolution. There's never been a time where we said, let's scrap everything and start all over again and do something different. It really has just evolved from one thing to the next. And, now it's been 10 years, and it's going to be interesting to see what the next decade holds. I think that usually times of crisis, while they're difficult, sometimes they tend to even the playing field a little bit. Like, if no one has access to the major resources and everyone has to get scrappy, I really do think that creativity starts to prevail. So I'm excited to see the kind of work that happens after this kind of crisis that we're in right now.
And you part of your incubator, at least historically, has been taking the group to Costa Rica, right?
Yeah, we've put that on hold the last couple of years, or the last year, I guess, because we were working on too many projects that we couldn't commit to going down for a week, which honestly is a good problem to have. But
Yeah.
but yeah, we used to run one of our incubators in Costa Rica, which was always so nice and provided such a good break from New York in the winter. Just as that seasonal depression would start to kick in, we would head out for a week or two. And I definitely felt different this year and last year not going. I felt the difference.
Can you talk a little bit about, as you look at projects, either that you're going to work on or as you're helping people develop projects, putting you on the spot a little bit here, but what do you think your and Alex's approach to looking at the importance and integration of humor in a project, how you think about that? Because I would imagine that a lot of times there may be an evaluation. I think you're just trying too hard to go for laughs. I think this is a little too serious. You need to lighten it up, and helping people find the humor in that through your coaching and producing. Can you offer any insights on how you think about that and how you help people find the funny?
Sure. I mean, we don't always work on comedies, and we've produced some films that have been really, really serious. But it always has to have levity because life does. But when we are working on a comedy, I mean, comedy can come from so many different places, and I think that the most important thing, oh God, this word is so overused, but I'm going to say it. It needs to be authentic to the story. So, even in my script, I have jokes that I ended up cutting out because even though I knew that they were super funny, it really was out of place for moving the story forward. And it was just a joke for joke's sake. And so I think that there needs to be a reason for everything to be there. I think that as long as there's some sort of payoff story wise, so that it's not just a joke out of nowhere, then it works. And I would say the only time that I can think of where that might not be the case is, sometimes you're watching a comedy and you see two people walking down the street and there's an aside and there's just a totally different conversation that they're having. But the truth is they still walked down the street during it. So they still got to where they needed to be, and there were jokes. I think as long as it has a place within the story, then I think that humor is always an amazing thing to add to any project, even if it's a drama.
So let's switch over to adult sex ed. This is a comedy slash educational show that you do as part of Caveat, or it's presented on a stage at Caveat in New York City. Tell us about what that show is and the genesis of it, because from what I understand, it is definitely not what you originally envisioned.
No, it's not what I originally envisioned. I wrote it as a TV pitch and I had pitched it around. That pitch got me hired to write on a different project. So it wasn't for nothing. And when that project ended, I ended up picking adult sex ed back up again and thinking about how I could really make it my own. And sex ed is something that I have always been focused on and something that I've always kind of had an obsession with. I grew up on Long Island in a very conservative town, and in school we had abstinence only sex ed. And when I was in high school, we watched Philadelphia to
Wow,
learn that
really?
if you
Oh,
have
wow.
sex, you'll get AIDS.
Oh my gosh,
So
that's
I
really
personally
harsh.
love all Tom Hanks references, except for that one. But at home, I had a totally different situation. My home was very honest and open. My mom even taught sex ed for a while. So I really had these conflicting messages that I was receiving. And I'm really lucky that I had this healthy environment at home to counteract the kind of bullshit that I was learning in school. And, throughout the years, I've been really focused on what is happening in sex ed in America and the sex ed that students are receiving here. I mean, all over the world, sex ed is pretty abysmal, but in the US in particular, it doesn't really match how free and open we think we are as a country. Only 29 states require sex ed in Washington, D.C., and only 15 states require that it's medically accurate. So those are our current numbers. And when I
It's
was
just,
looking
I
into this,
believe that. It's so strange that there's shame around it when we need facts.
I know. And so I was thinking about what would be a good format to deliver sex ed to people who should have already learned it. And by that, I mean adults. And what the show is now it's a live show that is almost morphed into a variety show, like a late night style variety show where I have an opening monologue that I do. I take the audience through some current events, and then I bring up other performers to talk about their sex ed histories. And throughout the show, I deliver different quote unquote lessons that are really hilarious deep dives into
Mm.
topics that you wouldn't know about. This month is Women's History Month, so I did a couple of Women's History Month profiles, and I spoke about products that have been created for women and the really unfortunate ways that men have tried to advertise them. But the show is not only female focused. I definitely have a lot of male audience members that come and enjoy the show. And I do different topics each month that sometimes appeal more to women and sometimes are, appealing to everyone. But I make sure that when I cast the other comedians who are coming on the show, it represents a diverse perspective, because the
Mm.
other issue in sex ed in America is that it's told completely from a heterosexual perspective. And usually
Oh,
they talk
that's
about sex
interesting.
between married people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's oh my gosh, that's so true. I was listening to something recently where it just talked about like educating your children about sex and how it's so helpful to say, and this is a mommy and a mommy, and this is a daddy and a daddy, and this is a mommy and a daddy, and this is or perhaps these are two binary folks together. So it's if that's kind of the curve that's happening with teaching children, adults need to learn it too.
Well, that's so interesting because I think about a bit of a peek into me. I learned about the birds and the bees from my neighbor Steve Challenger in my front yard when I was, I don't know, well, whatever age, 11 or 12, I don't know what it was.
Challenger's an amazing last name. Sorry,
Oh
keep
my
going.
Isn't
God.
it though? Yeah, yeah. And then I do not recall, and maybe it happened, but I do not recall being talked to by either one of my parents about the birds and the bees at all. And when I was in school, I don't think we went beyond the most basic moment of sex ed. I think maybe we watched a film one time and that was it. There was nothing beyond that. Now, granted, this would have been in like 1980 to 82 time, but still, it's what I'm saying is when I hear about other people's experiences being told, sat down by their parents, or having this like ongoing series of class sessions covering different topics of sex ed, I'm like, I didn't get any of that.
Well, you should come to adult sex ed.
I'm totally going to. I mean, I'm 53. I need to play catch up. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, the show is so much fun, and yes, I do it at Caveat, but I also have been looking at touring around a little bit. And recently, I've partnered with National Lampoon. They came on board the show, and we're working on a pitch for TV or podcast or whatever's next for the show. I also, when I describe the show to people, I think when they come to the show, it never ends up being what they thought it was going to be. And the point of bringing the other comedians on to tell their stories is that even if you did have amazing comprehensive sex ed in school, we still learn by doing, right? And we have all of these moments that are kind of like our own personal sex ed. So usually that's what the story focuses on. It usually focuses on things that someone had to learn the hard way. Like there's so
Oh
much
my
comedy
gosh.
there.
Let me ask you, Danny, moving on to sort of the third area of things. So you've written a screenplay. That's amazing. You've got Big Vision, Empty Wall. You've got adult sex ed. What about the performer end of you outside of sex ed? Are you still thinking about yourself as a stand-up comedian or doing improv? Or I know you've also done acting professionally. Where is this just a matter of bandwidth, or are you still pursuing these things, or
I'm
or
still
or did you get where you tried to
No,
arrive?
I'm still doing like stand up and storytelling outside of adult sex ed. Adult sex ed is something that I've been doing once a month. So if that was the only time that I got on stage each month, I think I would feel really rusty. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out there a lot more. So I'm hoping that at least I get to play a small part in my own movie. That would be really nice. And
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever my ambition to be the lead in a show or the lead in a film when I'm acting. I always wanted to be a funny side character, and I
Oh, that's
sort
so
of
interesting.
still do feel that way about it. I know that's very weird. But
It's
that was always
it's
the
interesting how
character that I related to, other than Marissa Tomei and My Cousin Vinny, which is definitely
Oh,
not a side character.
perfection.
isn't it funny
Perfection.
how we see ourselves a certain way and other people keep casting us as other things? Like I know what I believe my strengths are as an actor, but I keep getting, and I appreciate that I've been cast, but I keep getting cast like constantly as these, as a cop, as a dad, as a this, as a that, and I'm like, but I'm funnier this way, I'm better this way, and it doesn't matter how we see ourselves unless we do write our own movie and write a part for ourselves. Which is what a lot of people do.
Right.
It's true. I
So
mean, my movie, I didn't write a part for myself, but she wrote it for me and then I executive produced it. And it felt weird because I'm used to giving so many other people opportunities. But at the end of the day, it felt really good. At first, it felt a little foreign though. So I hear you. Do you know David Hyde Pierce? David Hyde Pierce from Frasier and
mhm.
Broadway and all the things. All he ever wanted to do was be a voice in a crowd. And so he finally got to do that there was a spin-off show after Frasier. What was that? That he got to finally be a voice in a crowd. And in the same way, you're like, I want to be the
Oh my
sidekick.
God.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it might have something to do with the movies that I grew up with, where the sidekick had such great lines
Oh,
and the lead was
absolutely.
so boring. And I don't know if that's still the case, but when I think about, I just rewatched Jurassic Park, which was always one of my favorite movies. And like, I mean, Jeff Goldblum has the best lines. Why
Of
would you
course.
want to be anyone else?
Don't you want to be the Fonz? Look, I'm not kidding around. I think Danielle and I do a fine job on this show, and we love being on it. And Elsie may not agree with this, but I often think Elsie's the strongest part of this show. She pops up every once in a while with a zinger, and that's what makes the show special, is those moments, I think. So we're just the connective tissue, right, Danielle?
Oh,
So
sure. Just connecting
yeah,
all the tissue.
that's all we do. That's all we do. So, okay. So, final question, at least for me, Dani, what's the big win for you? Like all of the things that you've been working on, what could happen in your life that would make you go, finally? I mean, maybe my life's not over and I'm not done trying, but this is what I have been trying to do. All of it led up to this moment.
I think it's a combination of I career wise, I would love for adult sex ed to become a late night show. And I
Mm,
would also really love to make this movie and other movies like it. I love things that are comedy, and because both of them are similar in that it's comedy, but it is delivering other things within the framework of comedy. And for the movie, it's delivering certain messages and certain themes that are underlying that hopefully will make people talk about the way that we treat new people when we discover them and
yeah.
the way that we exploit people through TV and the media.
Yeah.
And then adult sex ed, I actually think it's a great educational tool that is not really meant to teach you sex ed, but meant to open your eyes to maybe the misconceptions that you're holding on to that are holding you back or that are causing you to judge other people and their journeys. So I I would really love for those things to happen and for me to be able to create more stuff like that. So that's the career answer to the question.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you. And how can people connect with the different things that you do? Is there sort of a central entry point, or do you want to rattle each one of them off?
I would say at this point, because I don't have any shows coming up, because no one does, I would say the best thing would just be to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, and then when I have things to announce, you'll find out about them. And I'm Dani F. Leonard on both of those.
So DANIF Leonard, LEONARD.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm
All right.
following.
Yay. So, okay. Well, I can't wait to come see one of your adult sex ed shows when they happen. Please, I know you let us know. I'll really try to come to it. And however we can be helpful with your film as it unfolds, I want to be supportive however we can.
Oh, thank you.
I'm excited for you and everything that you've been building. It's really, really cool. Last thing in this show, usually at this point in the show, we have what we call end of show food. When we're all in the studio together, Elsie has some interesting food that she's found from somewhere in the world that we get to taste and then we get to rate it. We don't have that luxury of being in the same place right now, but I kind of want to try a double whammy here. So here's what I'm going to propose. Are you home right now, Dani?
I'm actually in my mom's apartment.
Okay, so I'm gonna challenge you in a way that may actually perturb your mom. I'm not sure, but if you would, I'd like for both you and our usual end of show food person, Elsie, to both get up from your computers, race to your respective kitchens that is in where you are, and grab something as fast as you can that seems unusual to eat or drink, and race back, and you're going to taste it and share with us in the funniest way that you can your description of what that item is.
Okay.
Are you game? Are you able to do
I
that?
actually think that it is an advantage that I'm in my mom's apartment and not my own.
Okay, so the weirder the better, or the less likely the better. So are you up for this, Elsie?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? As fast as you can. 1, 2, 3, go.
Connect with the show at Mouth Media Network or at our website, funnypeopletalking.com. And please, for the love of all that is holy, subscribe to the show and leave us a damn review and a really, really good rating on iTunes. Pretty please? Thank you.
I'm just twiddling my thumbs, Mark.
That's right. So this is fun. This is a twofer right here.
I know. I love that they're both going to be doing it. This is exciting.
Yeah. So Dani, she's a cool person, isn't she? She's so cool. I can't wait to see her show.
Oh, I'm super pumped, and I'm excited to hear the descriptions of these food items.
Oh, me too.
Okay.
Me too. All right. So Dani, you're back. Elsie, you're back.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. That was very fast. I admire your speed. All right. Let's start with you, Dani. Why don't you give us a quick, we want to hear you try it and describe it in the most humorous and exaggerated way that you can, what it is that you have.
Okay, but I'm not telling you what it is.
Oh, it's totally up to you. We can also try to guess if you want to go that way.
I think I want you to guess.
Okay.
So I am taking this. It's out of a jar. Okay.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna taste it.
Okay.
Okay.
Fluffernutter.
So no, this is it is a product of Israel.
Ooh.
It has some sweetness to it.
Pickle?
No. Although it is sort of salty. In reading,
Herring.
you're getting closer, definitely. In reading the label, it says it can be served either cold or at room temperature directly from the jar. Which
Oh, gefilte fish?
No. You were so close with the herring and then you got
I know. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So how does it taste?
It's fine. It tastes like a bunch of fish scraps.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I know,
it
right?
tastes like
Can
you know
bel-
what? It tastes exactly like what it is, and I appreciate that.
That's right. Amazing to me is when I think about these cultures that bury fish and then whatever number of days or months later they pull it up and then they eat it as a fermented
Oh,
thing.
wow.
God, I can't even begin to. You've heard of this, right, Elsie?
Yeah.
Oh my! Do you know what it's called by any chance? I know you are pretty good at National Geo and stuff.
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
remember.
All right. Well, Danny, thank you for the gefilte fish. Oh, I'm sorry. Does someone saying something?
No, I feel like I knew the name of it at one time too, and I don't remember either. So maybe it's just not a memorable fish thing.
I think it's called. Oh God! Oh no! Yeah, that's the official.
Perfect.
Yeah. So sorry about that. All right. So Danny, thank you very much for doing that. That was fun, and I'm glad that the byproduct of it was that you got to have some gefilte fish.
I ate a
So
very little bite.
there you go. And Elsie, so what did you scurry off and get? Or do you want to taste it and describe it?
Well, yeah. But that fish that you're talking about, I think it's like a Swedish thing. That fermented buried thing. So the name of it would most likely be in Swedish. So I don't know.
So it's not Swedish
fish. I wish
fish.
it was Swedish fish.
No. So anyway, my thing is a beverage, and I'll open it. So I'm gonna taste it.
I would like a beverage.
I didn't hear a sizzle.
All right, so I'm gonna just tell you because you'll never guess. So this is called volcano juice.
What?
I'm in love already.
Yeah, it's Juice Press makes it, and it's massively kicky. It's got ginger, lime, cayenne pepper, and oil of oregano. And let me tell you what it says: volcano, even hotter and spicier than its cousin, ginger fireball. Because volcano doesn't contain OJ, it's loaded with ginger root that studies suggest is an anti-inflammatory and immune boosting. Try the rest of our fireball family. And it's spicy and tart, and it's really great. I like it. It's if you're falling asleep, definitely drink some. You won't be asleep.
Well, hey, it sounds like a pretty good thing to be drinking about now in the world.
Yeah.
I imagine they can't really advertise this as some sort of, potion or elixir, but I imagine that the implication is immune booster. Let me have some of that.
Well, it's really good for you. I mean, the lime has the acidity and the vitamin C. The ginger is good for your digestion. The cayenne is good for your blood.
Yeah.
Oil of oregano is good for your throat and coughing and stuff. So
yeah.
But I bought it because it tastes good. Or I thought
it tastes good with all that.
And it's called Volcano, and I want to drink something called Volcano.
Let's explode.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you, Elsie. Thanks for going and trying that. That was interesting. Gefilte fish and volcano juice. I would never have seen that coming. I love it. So, all right. Well, what a fun and interesting episode this has been. What a wonderful guest. Dani Faith Leonard, thank you very much for making time joining us. I wish we could have been in the studio together, but I'm happy we were still able to get together thanks to the 21st century technology. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And best of luck with the things you're working on. I can't wait to come see your show when it's back live.
I'm excited too.
It's gonna be great. So,
thank you so
everybody go see check her out. Follow her on Twitter and Instagram at Dani F. Leonard, and go check out Adult Sex Ed. And if you're curious about Big Vision Empty Wallet, go check it out. If you're a filmmaker or a producer, it's probably good to connect with Dani and Alex. So anyway, thanks again. Great to see you again, and continue to look. And by the way, Dani, seriously, please stay safe and healthy.
Oh, you too, all of you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it for this really nice episode of Funny People Talking. We're very grateful that you took the time to listen. We're all going to try to stay safe and healthy and taken care of and vigilant and all those things. And we hope that you will too. So until next time, for Danielle Beckwoman.
Farewell, I'm a woman.
And Volcano Elsie.
Don't explode.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Mark Rako. Have a wonderful day, everybody. We'll see you soon. Until then, stay funny.
That's it? That's the end of the show? Boy, boy, what a crock. This was Funny People Talking. No portion of the content may be reproduced or published without the strict written permission of the producers. Connect with our show at Mouth Media Network or at our website, funnypeopletalking.com. I'm your announcer, Peter Coleman. Thanks for listening.
This is Mouth Media Network. Amplify and connect.